Abattoir where they butchered cows in Brighton, and the smell and everything. And who the hell? I wonder who has to go down and see what the hell they're going to do with the butchered cows. I go down there and I walk down to the bottom of the hill and I walk in there and I see them chasing these cows. There was like truckloads. This was when Boston was really low and there was the Haymarket. And and truckloads of cows coming in, and they'd be all stacked in the thing, standing up, and they'd be thrown into this pen, and the pen was like the old Western days, with the high stakes and everything all around it, and they'd be thrown in there, and they were bringing them by truck, not by truck, but by train, and they'd pick them up from the train and bring them down there. So I said, I gotta go see what they're doing with all these cows. My God, they were mooing. You could hear them all over the place. My God, I go in there and I look, and they're all put into stalls about that wide. That they have to walk ahead. They couldn't turn. They couldn't do anything. And my God, I look at it like a machine. There's a guy there with a big hammer, a hammer of that lead hammer, all lead, strong as a knock, standing on, the cows are coming through here, and they hold both legs there, and he's there with that goddamn block. And the first cow sticks his head out, wham! And the cow would fall right down.
Yeah.
Dead, like. They put the goddamn rope around his head, around the horns, and it'd be torn right out. The next one would come. It was like a machine. It was. So glad to get the hell out of there. I don't want to see it anymore because I love the animals. But I couldn't believe the way they're doing it. And it was so fast the way they did everything. There was dragged. The bull was dragged. The cow was dragged up to this place and put on carriers and skinned, cut in quarters and halves, and pieces cut up, and it was just a regular machine. And they did it constantly.
I'm sorry you way beyond that.
Yeah. You can put it right up.
Yeah, that's okay. Keep going. I'm sorry, Pop. I'm sorry.
So it was interesting at the time, but it was scary too, because I never saw that. I never thought that he could do it. But by God, you talk about a whole herd of cows. Sometimes we'd be walking walking to school or something, and there'd be 200 cows, all being driven. They're coming off the train or wherever they were delivered. And here's my poor aunt got a beautiful store in there. That you could smell. The smell was terrible. When after butchering and like that. But yet she did good with it. My God, she's making money. She took care of my sister and me. She had a nice apartment and a 5 and 10 cent store. And God, she used to kid me. She'd say, "I remember you, Alphonse. I remember you when you were little. You always had a stomach ache." And I'd say, "Why a stomach ache?" She said, "Every time you saw me and you went near the candy, you would say, 'I got a stomach ache.'" And and my aunt would say, "What do you need?" And I'd say, "Candy." Some candy. She says, "Boy, were you dumb." You did that. You could bribe me with candy. So I was lucky that my mother, I had the whole family took care of each other, and they didn't have nothing. They had nothing. Uncle Charlie had nothing when he came from Lithuania. My mother had nothing when she came from Lithuania. My Aunt Emma had nothing when she came from Lithuania. Uncle Tony had the farm. He came from Lithuania as a greenhorn. They were all greenhorns. You know, they had just come in after the war, or during the war. But they all were into business. They all did great. My Uncle Charlie had Henry's father had a beautiful business with logs and lumber and firewood, a blacksmith shop. He had a good blacksmith shop. He couldn't make anything. But they were all intelligent Lithuanians, so they had their attitude. You know, they had a way to make money, well, on their own. They really pretty good. Crazy. That's my lecture for today.
Yeah. I like it.
But it's funny to see how other people did it, and you know, it's amazing.